Okay, so I didn't want the other video about tongue ties to be super long. So if you want to watch that one, I'll include a link to the tongue tie video where I was talking about where your tongue's supposed to be. But if you, so if you didn't see that first, I would definitely check that out. But I wanted to do a separate video because a lot of people don't believe in tongue ties, or they think it's a fad, or like, well, how are all of a sudden all of these people being born with tongue ties? Like, was this a thing years ago? And yeah, I think it was a thing. If you look at the mouths of like our parents, like my parents, so like I'm in my 30s, my parents are in their 60s, that generation, a lot of oral mouth orthodontic issues, a lot of teeth crowding, a lot of cavities, a lot of, sleep issues, snoring, things like that. And that a lot of people just don't relate to having oral motor mouth issues. They just assume it's just part of their body, how they were born, or getting older. They might assume it's just a part of getting older. A lot of poor posture. Yes, the tongue is related to posture. I didn't include that in my other video, but yes, it definitely can be related to posture. Connective tissue runs throughout your entire body, and tongue ties are connective tissue. So it's all like one big spider web. And imagine if you poke the web of a spider, right? Doesn't the whole web move? So when there's a restriction and there's a pulling on one part of that web, it's going to pull the whole web. So it affects actually the posture and alignment of your entire body. Isn't that kind of crazy? But okay, back to my theory. It's a theory. And I was talking to another speech and myofunctional therapist about this recently, actually. And I feel like we kind of agreed. But, so the theory is that there actually is an increase in kids being born with ties. And a lot of when you look into ties, there is something related to the MTHFR gene mutation. And with that gene mutation, usually it comes with a difficulty absorbing B vitamins. So I believe I actually have that. I haven't done the testing yet, but my B vitamins are usually very, very deficient. And when I was tested, I needed a ton of B vitamins, and I was taking B vitamins. It wasn't even like I wasn't taking them. And I have food that has B vitamins in it. So, and I had ties. So there was like a few things that made me think that I actually had that. And if I have it, my child's also probably more likely to have it, right? Genetics. Okay. So, but why do more people seem to have it now? I think it might be related to the increase in GMOs and crops being sprayed with pesticides and things like that. It's honestly totally a guess. It's a theory. It's an idea, but it's like my gut thought, because it's like, honestly, I feel like there are more people with it. And I feel like there are, like, so many kids are born with difficulty latching and feeding, and there just is. Kids are being born with more issues than I feel like they ever were in the past. And there's gotta be a reason for it. There just has to be. I feel like now it's the norm that like kids are born and there's some sort of issue with feeding, with torticollis, with a reflux, which is related to ties as well. But there's like so many kids that are that are born with these issues that it's like mind boggling. Like we get so many calls about it. And I'm like, but where were all of these kids before? You know, I just can't imagine that it was like this. Like when I was a baby, like my mom, you know, it was there. I'm not saying it wasn't there. It just seems to be increasing. That's what I'm saying. And I'm trying to think of a reason why. And that kind of makes sense to me that, okay, like maybe spraying this stuff on the crops and these, you know, we're growing these different vegetables, or we're depleting the soil of the vitamins and minerals that we need. Maybe we're just lacking, and it's causing this little gene mutation, or it's causing like this extra connective tissue to stick around. It's not something you can't overcome, or, you know, it's definitely, you know, people live with it. It's not like a death sentence, but it's just like a why. Like, why do all of our kids seem to have some sort of an issue with their mouth and their tongue? That's just my theory. So you can take it or leave it for what it's worth. But, and don't get me wrong, I do my best to eat organic and eat healthy, but you know, you cannot avoid this kind of stuff. It's impossible, no matter what your best effort is. Unless you live in a bubble, you can't avoid it, right? So yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, you know, just a theory, you know? All right. Well, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it.